It was 1999. Rocio Medina and Cuauhtemoc Sanchez, two highly experienced cavers, are trapped at the bottom of a 255-meter deep cave. Their only escape is blocked by loose, heavy rocks, which, if dislodged, could fall and crush them. Over the next few hours, Rocio and Cuauhtemoc will find themselves involved in one of the most intense rescue operations Mexico has ever seen. It was August 22nd, and Texas native Christine Christie Quintana had been immersing herself in the culture of San Luis Potosi, Mexico. For a few years, Christie had become obsessed with caving, traveling all over to explore new natural cave systems. But a recent trip to Mexico left her dreaming about one cave in particular, the Sotano del Aire, a 233-meter deep cave that could only be entered by rappelling down vertically. It was an extremely challenging but little known cave system in Mexico, one that only a small handful of people had ever really attempted to explore. Of course, that just made them want to do it even more. Christie met up with a group of more experienced Mexican cavers, but the journey was not easy. From the second they parked their truck, they had to make a brutal 2-hour hike across the Mexican desert in the blazing summer sun before they reached the entrance. They already knew they would be in the caves overnight, so everyone was equipped with food, water, and a headlamp. But there was another thing worrying the cavers. If any of the rocks came loose, they could fall and potentially kill the cavers inside. Fortunately, there were no loose rocks at the entrance. In fact, everything seemed about as perfect as it could possibly be. Rocio and Cuauhtemoc would be the first two into the cave, taking the lead in descending 233 meters deep into the pit until they reached the bottom. Rocio and Cuauhtemoc would be the first two into the cave, taking the lead in descending 233 meters deep into the pit until they reached the bottom. Behind them, their partners Christy and Miguel would catch up, and two more cavers would stay on the surface to ensure everything was fine. The divers went in one by one. The rigging allowed them to descend right into the middle of the entrance, away from the lip, making it easy to avoid any potential complications. Christy could not have been more excited to be the last one into the cave. She slowly descended down, feeling the adrenaline rush as she got deeper and deeper into the darkness, barely illuminated by her headlamp. It took almost 6 hours before Rocio and Cuauhtemoc reached the tight construction that would lead them to the lower pit. It was a tight squeeze, a narrow entry that just about allowed them to slip through. But as they made their way into the pit, they saw debris, faint dust, and dirt falling before their headlamps. More than was usual. These were tiny rocks, rubble coming from above.